This is a historical fiction telling a scene from the exciting adventure of Lewis and Clark as they went into the wide and wild unknown after the Louisiana Purchase was made. Their daring exploits charted the movement of peoples westward. And they made one discovery after another. Encountering friend and foe. Coming toe to toe with both danger and beauty. Braving the elements to bring a call to settle this expansive land for the bounty it had to offer. A remarkable accomplishment that would become legendary. We find them deep in the thicket now. Nestled into a grove of trees. Lewis looked to his travel companion Clark. And ripped a mad loud one. Long and proud. Causing Clark to stop sketching a leaf or something. Oi. Bruv. The heck was that? That. My good man Clark. Was excellence in flatulence. Oi. It's not though. Ain't it? It's sick. That's what it is. Come on man. I'm trying to breathe over here. Lewis gave a wry smile. Clark my man. Think about it. This could be the first fart these wise trees have ever been privy to. Lewis. Have just again made history. Clark didn't even look up from his leaf sketch. Obviously tired of this nonsense. It sounded more like a shard. So you may have made even more than history. Dude. Take it easy on eating rando mushrooms. For like a day. Your sick insides are making me sick outside. And why should I? Clark old chap. Why not flap these cheeks in the breeze? We are the only ones for miles around. I can hear it echo through the hills. I ask of you. Clark my boy. Were I not to let loose the flare of mine butt trumpet here. Then where? Back at the pub. The boys would take the piss out of me for it. I have limits. This land. This great land. Is however without such limits. And so may be filled with the ecstasy of life itself. Clark scoffed. More like filled with decay than life. As I much suspect your guts are decaying. Did you shove a dead skunk up there in the name of science? Or something like that? Come off it now you jode. I'm trying to sketch a leaf here. Can't you see that? Gee whiz. Cheese whiz hasn't been invented yet. Lewis rounded back on him. Whatever. Leave me and my leaf alone. Just go over there a while and wash that gnarly stench peach of yours in yonder stream Louis. I'll catch up when I'm not downwind of that stink canal hidden within your trousers. Like the winding river hides between the walls of the Grand Canyon. Hey. Clarky my dear Clarky Warky. No spoilers. We haven't made it to Arizona yet. Clark turned on him. Ha ha. Joke's on you. Arizona doesn't exist yet. And what's more it ain't even in the purchase. Your anachronism is as bad as your digestion. After this spat, Clark finished sketching the margins of the leaf while Lewis made for the stream in a grump. Because he really had nothing to do. To his credit. Lewis was not lying when he said they were in a wild open expansive land. Clark ate the leaf after closing his sketchbook. Let's not forget. Clark was a nasty bad boy in his own right. A little while later Lewis came back. Oi. Clarkington. I found a chick at the river. No you didn't Lulu. Yet I did. See. There was a native woman beside him there indeed. OMG. Clark whirled around in a circle confused. Where in the heck did you get that? How'd you track her down? Sacagawea piped up. He didn't find me. I found him. And tracked his pastiness down. Clark looked astonished. How'd you find us out here? Sacagawea shuffled her slippered feet. And looked up at the two men. She finally spoke. I'd rather not say how I came to find you. But you guys really Really shouldn't eat the mushrooms that grow around here, and I'll leave it at that. Clark stood up. "K. Fair. I'm Clark. And that mushroom connoisseur is Lewis. We got sent out here to explore because folks back in town got real sick of us. They said it was important. And we fools took the bait. And I haven't stopped feeling like a complete idiot ever since." "Who are you?" The native lady stood with hands on hips. "Doesn't matter who I am. Turn back and fuck off." Lewis went wide-eyed. "Steady on now, miss. We kinda got to get to the end of the Louisiana Purchase or they won't let us back into the pub. You see our great nation of America, bless her liberty-loving heart, just bought this land. Everything around you as far as the eyes can see." The lady shook her head. "Yeah. Nah. Bullshit. Fuck off. I've said it twice. Don't make me say it a third time or I'll strike you out." "Oh. Will you now? What will you do? Go like halala and dance or something? You can't scare us. We're the most daring, brave, Advent okay. Uncle. I say uncle." Sacagawea got Lewis by the earlobe and with a swift, firm tug started dragging his ass back towards Plymouth Rock. "Thanks, lady. I was getting sick of his butt trump. Oh. Why, me too. Okay, I'm going." Sacagawea already had Clark in a mean purple nurple before he could finish being a dangus with his words, and proceeded to drag him back to Boston or wherever the chuckle fucks were from. "Shut up, the two of you ninny jackasses. I'm made of tougher shit than these trees and your paper mache compared to me. Now knock your balls together and walk. You weak ass bitch pansy punks. I've taken dumps with more character than either of you. And you're dressed like you belong in a painting, not the forest. Move it. Move it." It was at that moment Sacagawea invented. You guessed it. The Indian burn. Clarkington and Lulu pleaded with her, saying they couldn't go back yet or they'd get the piss taken out of them for real from the boys back in town. She sighed heavily, asked them how much farther they needed to go before their dumb-ass mission was complete. Lewis said not far and Clark said just a little further. They lied. Of course. And it stank worse than Lewis's mushroom farts. And Sack could smell it. But she was already weary from their petulant bullshit. So she agreed to walk them just a little ways on. Like a crossing guard looking after school children on a street with no cars. She was the land. She was the law. That's why they called her Sacagawea Law. They kind of never learned her name. But history is no more aware of it now than they were then. However, they were fast friends after that encounter. Lewis agreed to stop eating mushrooms. Clark had to stop pausing to draw pine cones. And the nice native lady led them all the way across the Great Plains and through towering forests until they finally got to a Denny's. Then they all had grand slams and unlimited coffee. Though Clark was kind of a dick to the waitress about the refills, saying he wanted to quote-unquote keep it hot. The waitress said, "I'm about to turn this Denny's into a get-dang Waffle House on your scrawny asses if you don't either leave me alone or give me a good tip." Before Lewis could even begin the sentence, "Oh, I got a tip for you," Sack nailed him in his sack with a spoon. That shut him up right away. They met Sack's dad and he thought they were hilarious. These untrained apes mucking around the woods. Sack's pop said, if he was a bear, he wouldn't even eat them. Because he'd get an upset stomach trying to digest that much shit for brains. Again. Indian burn. Lewis and Clark kind of felt bad. And eventually stopped being twats. And so Sack lightened up a bit and gave them a tour for like a month or so. By the end of it they both wanted to marry her. but she was like ha ha ha. No. You dummies. Me. This fine lady is basically royalty. So she sent them packing, and when they got back to the pub they had to make up a bunch of utter nonsense so the boys back home wouldn't take the piss out of them. Leading to most of the history you can find on Wikipedia today. But only if you give Jimmy Wales his $5 goddamn he's always on about. Or that banner ad is never going away. This was the original premise for Thin Lizzy's hit single. The boys are back in town, and that's why Lewis and Clark are still known as famed explorers to this day.
Yep. Just like Lewis and Clark. Just like Lewis and Clark.